Yeah.
proof that hard
The never-ending exploitation of Olympians.
work and discipline could earn you the world's respect. Today, we have Olympians twerking on the world's largest stage so they can get a boost in OF subscribers. Countless Olympic caliber athletes are resorting to softcore adult content to fatten their bank accounts. It's gotten so bad that British canoeist Kurtz Resentals has been suspended due to his edgy videos. And while some have accused these athletes of selling their soul, there is some complicated nuance to consider. The financial reality of being an Olympic athlete in most countries is, quite frankly, embarrassing, which results in many of them working regular part-time jobs in addition to training and competing at the highest level.
I feel like I am one of the best in America, so if I can do that while I'm at one point working 2 jobs and DoorDash and everything like that, then I can imagine what I can do if I didn't have to do it.
There's times where I don't even have money in my bank account.
Today, we're going to dive into the broken economics of the Olympics, why athletes are resorting to selling their bodies, the good stories, the horror stories, and the deeply uncomfortable truth about where our society is headed. There's something special about the Olympics that just doesn't exist for regular professional sports. Across nearly all countries and cultures, the Olympics are highly respected, and they are considered to be the highest echelon of human performance. Therefore, winning a medal means you've trained harder and outcompeted.
This is a custom sticker.
The whole world.
And this is a custom label. Both are printed on vinyl and have a matte
everyone else on Earth. Even superstar athletes that make boatloads of money in their respective leagues express wanting to compete on the world stage, not just to prove themselves against global competitors, but because the games are about representing your country with pride.
Describe what keeps you coming back and making sure that you're a part of Team USA every year.
I love representing my country for one, and the culture that USAB created since I've been in the league has just been family atmosphere, so I always love being a part of it.
For me to get a gold medal is insane, and I thank God for the opportunity to experience it.
Now, competing in the games is borderline a part of our DNA. It was an ancient event that dates back over 1,000 years, and then was formally brought back by the International Olympic Committee in 1896 in the spirit of peaceful competition. Even when the world is divided, the Olympics have always been a place where different nations compete on equal ground. You might see athletes from countries that don't have good political relationships standing on the same track or even sharing the podium. It's a reminder that people, no matter where they're from, still respect things like hard work, discipline, and passion. One of my favorite parts about the games is that every medal is officially treated equally.
Do you guys remember that one Olympic with the breakdancing? Good times.
So any medal earned in extremely popular events like the 100-meter sprint, gymnastics, and soccer earn a country the same amount of points as a medal in less popular events like archery, rowing, and fencing, which means that these more niche sports matter just as much as the popular ones. However, in terms of cultural value, public perception, and ultimately monetary value, not all medals are seen as equal. Now, you would think that the world's most prestigious athletes, no matter what sport they are in, would be financially compensated in a way that allows them to solely focus on honoring their country in the games.
Yeah, I thought they were with sponsors and all that.
And that's because the IOC simply refuses to pay Olympians. The International Olympic Committee is a not-for-profit, non-governmental body based in Switzerland. In the 4-year cycle after the Winter and Summer Games, they generated $7.6 billion through broadcast rights, sponsorships, and licensing deals, and they pay the athletes absolutely nothing. No appearance fee, no prize money, no share of the revenue whatsoever. Compare that to professional leagues like the NFL or the NBA, where player unions collect nearly 50% of the revenue share generated.
Olympics,
if the IOC paid even just 10% of their earnings to the athletes, each athlete could get around $67,000 for competing. Also, they don't pay any of the workers at the events. Unpaid volunteers help the IOC and local organizers run the games. They typically receive uniforms, food when they work, and some minor transportation costs. Lodging is included. Paris had 45,000 volunteers. If they paid the workers minimum wage, that would cost around $100 million, less than 1% of their total revenue generated. So that kind of begs the question, what exactly does the IOC spend all that money on? Well, they claim that they, quote, redistribute 90% of their revenue. But what does redistribution mean? Surely they aren't redistributing that money into the pocket pockets of oligarchs around the world, right?
so
Well, their
confused.
accounting records seem strategically vague. They say that they pay $40 million in cultural and heritage costs, $190 million in central operating and administrative costs, $46 million to the promotion of the Olympic movement, $54 million in IOC operations, and my favorite, $46 million goes to special projects. And these are just a few examples of what seems to be an endless list of
It's a
extremely
scam.
vague expenditures in the tens of millions of
It
dollars.
seems like
So
a
which of
scam.
these expenditures count as redistribution, and what do they even mean by redistribution? I don't know, but we know for a fact that $0 is redistributed to the athletes. That is actually up for the country of the athlete's origin to take care of. You may know that every country will pay its athletes for winning a gold, silver, or bronze medal, but the difference in pay country by country will shock you. According to CNBC, gold medalists from Hong Kong were paid $768,000, silver medalists were paid $384,000, and bronze medalists were paid $192,000.
Yeah, but poor countries?
The country of Singapore has a very similar payout structure, and these are amounts that allow these athletes to train, live comfortably for years, and maybe even save for the future. However, there is a significant drop in pay from the second highest to the third highest, with Indonesia paying $300,000 for gold,
what about the US?
$150,000 for silver, and $60,000 for bronze. These are still solid payouts, but shockingly, the United States offers some of the lowest pay for winning.
Oh my God.
for gold, $23,000
Really?
for silver, and $15,000 for bronze. Mind you, this is only paid out to the athletes that win a medal.
Yeah,
but still, it
barely
barely
any.
puts a dent in the cost of training to become a world-class athlete. The Wall Street Journal did a study that estimated it costs between $25,000 and $40,000 per year to train to become an Olympic swimmer. These costs include coaches, access to professional facilities, membership fees, travel, equipment, etc.
yeah.
Three-time Olympic water polo gold medalist Maggie Steffens speculated it cost about $3,300 a month to train in Long Beach for the Olympics as a full-time job. And that's only if the training itself is paid for. If it's not, athletes have to pay for coaches, trainers, and gym memberships, or find those who will do it pro bono. Now, in countries like China or Russia, the government will actually fund elite sports programs. However, American athletes have to rely mostly on private funding from some nonprofit sports federations and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. For example,
The Olympics would be paying for that,
USOPC
man.
stipends
Honestly.
range from as low as $300 to $2,000 per month, depending on your sport, ranking, and medal potential. That might cover your protein powder and one plane ticket, not your rent, not your coach, not your groceries, and definitely not your medical bills if you get injured. The only athletes who don't struggle with funding are those who received scholarships to universities with
Sponsorship,
unlimited access to
yeah.
world-class facilities and coaches, or those with massive corporate sponsors. Simone Biles is probably the most recognizable Olympic athlete today. She reportedly earned $5 million per year in endorsements at her peak, thanks to deals with brands like Athleta, Visa, Uber Eats, and Wheaties. But most of that money is tied to the fact that she is a celebrity with 12 million followers on Instagram. When she is competing, viewership shoots way up, and corporations are willing to spend a lot to have their logo attached to her likeness. For example, track and field sprinter Noah Lyles was widely regarded as one of the most promising and dynamic figures in the sport. In 2016, Lyles and his brother Josephus decided to turn pro when they signed an 8-year deal with Adidas. After winning the 100 meters at the 2024 Paris Olympics, he signed an extension with Adidas. And while the specific details of the contract were not disclosed, Lyles' agency, Global Athletics and Marketing Inc., claimed that the deal is, quote, the richest contract in the sport of track and field since the retirement of Usain Bolt. So winning a medal might help you out, but if you're not in a very popular sport or you don't have a social media presence, your chances of securing major sponsors are slim. A gold medal in judo doesn't sell cereal boxes the same way gymnastics or swimming might. And even if one of these lesser known athletes was able to secure a smaller sponsor by, let's say, like a local bank or a landscaper or some rich person in their local community, they couldn't even promote their sponsors during the Olympics due to IOC Rule 40, which restricts non-official Olympic sponsors from being mentioned by athletes during the games. So with a fundamentally broken business model, extremely high costs to be an athlete, and no way of securing funding, the only thing left to do for them is to get a job.
I don't understand why these Olympics are getting are staying at a what do you call it? Are doing this at this point. Hold on, guys. Where is? Wait, hold up. Where's my? Oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. I'm keeping an eye on the Xbox thing. If anything big happens, then I'm gonna switch it.
Medal-winning swimmer Nick Fink, 3x3 basketball player Canyon Barry, and rock climber Jesse Grouper all worked as engineers while training, which is an honorable career. But not everyone can find a salary job that covers all basic needs. American boxer Morel McCain said she worked several paid-by-the-hour flexible jobs. She tried being a birthday party clown, a daycare supervisor, and a mailroom worker to fund her Olympic journey. The IOC even funded a day-in-the-life docuseries called Day Jobs, where the description of the series says, behind the glitz and glamour of the games, many world-class athletes must work around the clock to fund their Olympic dream. They shared the stories of Olympians who were also doctors, dentists, math teachers, firefighters. These are extremely honorable men and women, but I find this so slimy.
Weird.
The Olympic Committee could literally just pay these athletes. Like, this docuseries doesn't need to exist if they just got paid, but instead they're throwing a camera in their face and saying, oh, this must be so hard for you to fund this dream. And the ironic part about it is that this feel-good documentary will probably make enough money in advertiser revenue that could pay for all of these Olympians' full-time salaries tenfold. Many Olympians just set up GoFundMes. Badminton player Jenny Zhai got nearly $22,000. Table tennis player Kanak Jha raised over $30,000. But even relying on the kindness of others is extremely exhausting. As you can imagine, many Olympians get fed up and it becomes difficult to suppress those emotions. American discus thrower Veronica Fraley tweeted, I compete in the Olympic Games tomorrow and I can't even pay my rent. My school only sent about 75% of my rent while they pay football players who haven't won anything enough to buy new cars and houses. The tweet went viral and hours later her rent was paid by rapper Flava Flav and Reddit's co-founder Alexis Ohanian, who sent the athlete thousands of dollars. At a certain point, some athletes stop waiting for a stipend, a sponsor, or some miracle donation from a celebrity. When you've trained your whole life to represent your country at the highest level, only to be told there's no money left for rent, food, or healthcare, it's not hard to see why some athletes reach a breaking point. And when the system leaves you with no real support, no real income, and no rules about how you can make money, some start looking at options they might one day regret, like OnlyFans. Canadian track and field star Alicia Newman created her OF account at the height of the pandemic. She regularly posted content ranging from training sessions to explicit photo shoots and videos. And according to Alicia, she initially had reservations about joining the platform, revealing that her first discussion was with her family. I said, I know there's a lot of stigma behind this website, and this is new to me, but what do you think? I remember my sister said, if you don't try, how would you ever know? And she was right. If I didn't go on it then I wouldn't be on it now. Clearly something resonated with me, and it changed my life completely.
I mean, I bet you made a lot of money.
People ask for. It gives me a good insight into what people are thinking about me. Lots of people have asked for photos of all my medals lined up. They love that stuff. Now, she's describing joining this platform as an ambitious and honorable adventure that is merely just a great way to connect with her fans. And you'll notice that a lot of athletes put this fluffy language to sugarcoat what they are actually doing, which is charging gooners to goon to their NSFW pictures and videos.
So it launched, it went super well. I think I had in like 45 minutes, I had like 45,000 people sign up. And I think it was like $29.99 at that time. And I'm like, okay, so people are interested. And I'm good at sharing these numbers. Again, like now everyone's like, you gotta be more careful, like what you share. But at that time, it was like, wait, so people do care. It like reassured me that like people are interested in what Alicia Newman's doing.
45,000 subs at $30
they want
a
to
piece.
stay
That's
boobs.
$1.3 million.
Well, no.
At this point, Alicia was a no.
Well, wait. That's not actually accurate because OnlyFans does take a fee for that. There's a reason why. Even I know because we saw this like it was like documentary or something. So the reason why there's like people that do OnlyFans, there's a free version because subscriptions you barely make any money on subscriptions. Where they make the most money are the requests and tips. That's where the money comes from, not from subscriptions. So because they take a fee off of that, I don't know how much of the fee is. It 50%, 40%? I have no idea. I forgot. If I'm being honest, but Yeah, so that she didn't make 1.5 million because then you also got to count taxes as well, etc. But she did make a lot of money. Either or, she did make a lot of money.
Named pole vaulter. She got 17th place at the Rio Games and did not even advance to the finals in the Tokyo Games. But in 45 minutes, she made more money than the top 1% of Olympians. And I feel like I need to say this clearly. When a woman launches an OF, people expect that it's nude pics or prom. Now, Alicia said that she was just planning on vlogging her adventures as an Olympian, but the vast majority of people who paid $30 just want to see goon material. Here is a down bad thread of presumably men saying how her OF is a scam because she isn't revealing enough. Specifically, some who admitted to paying $200 for VIP access to see more. And yeah, Alicia may have started this with good intentions. Maybe she did just want to connect with her fans and post a little behind the scenes content and maybe, you know, an explicit photo here and there. But the reality is the demand skews heavily towards adult content on that site. And when thousands of people are tipping extra for more skin, you get to a point where you have to satisfy those paying customers, or they start canceling their subscriptions, and you have to market your platform to get new customers. OF is not just a side hustle anymore, it starts to reshape their behavior. And after Alicia won the bronze medal in the pole vault at the 2024 Games, she celebrated by twerking on the world stage.
Oh no.
What an embarrassment. Guess she forgot she was representing her country and not on OF. While Alicia did get a ton of criticism for her actions, she even admitted that her intentions going into the games were to grow her subs. She said, "I felt that with or without the medal, getting the exposure on the worldwide stage would give me an additional fan base." And she was right. She said that her OF subscribers exploded after this moment.
Oh, for sure. Like, a lot, like 10 times more than what I've had on before. I can't say a real number. The only reason I'm not saying it is because as we speak, like, numbers are being added.
Now, if Alicia is not exaggerating and actually 10x'd her previous subs, we are talking about potentially $5-10 million. So now you have to ask, what exactly are we incentivizing here? If an Olympic medalist sees more financial success in going viral for being provocative than for being elite at their sport, then the games aren't just a competition anymore. They're a marketing funnel for adult explicit content. And Alicia's success on OF has led to countless Olympians following her lead. Jack Lauer is a decorated Olympian springboard diver, earning 1 gold medal for the 3-meter synchronized and 1 silver medal for the 3-meter springboard at the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Games. But even with this impressive resume, he just wasn't making enough money. So he began posting photos of his physique on OnlyFans during his preparation for Paris 2024. In his own words, just like most Olympic sports, there isn't a lot of money in diving. When I was younger, my dad would say, if you win an Olympic gold medal, that's worth 1 million euros. But it's not. It's nowhere near that. And I can tell you that as someone who has got an Olympic gold medal. In defense of his career change, Jack claimed funding had not really changed since 2011. And over the last 15 years, he's only seen a pay increase of about 7,000 euros. But Jack didn't really need to justify his actions because podcasts and national news surprisingly cover these decisions with overwhelming support, or they make it into a joke.
Jack started posting content after the Tokyo Games. He says it was his dad who originally gave him the idea. He doesn't post any nude content, which seems like an oversight because divers very fit.
Also, they're known for their smooth entry and minimal splash, so...
What's really wild about this, though, is Jack has now signed up for OnlyFans. Yeah. I was already paying to see Jack off the diving board, and now...
Here we go.
His dad made an interesting comment about Jack's content. There's nothing left to the imagination when you just wear trunks all the time, and he just posts pictures of himself as you would see if he was in a competition. It makes extra money for him, and he's pleased to have the opportunity.
Yeah,
but
so
it's
what's the point?
That you couldn't show your grandma. Lauer's account, costing $10 a month for a subscription, says, "Hi, I'm Jack Lauer, and I'm the British Olympic diver you probably heard has an OF. This page is a celebration of underwear and Speedos and a place to come and chat to the real me. me. I am still a performing athlete, so there will be no full frontal nudity. However, I do like to show off as much as I can get away with. We are basically letting extremely horny people determine that gooning to an Olympian's body is worth.
So the Gooners are funding Olympians now, guys. The Gooners are providing a great service to our countries. Wow, dude. All jokes aside, I think the Olympics should be paying a lot more money to the athletes, because without the athletes, there would not be an event. And here's the simplest thing ever, by the way. If every place, in some way, some form, made a worldwide protest, like the athletes, like no one shows up to Olympics, they will change that within the next day. They will change that within, because again, no athletes, no money. Simple as that.
More than their extraordinary athletic ability that they dedicated their lives to. And we have seen athletes be pressured from fans and the media to join in on it, like French pole vaulter Anthony Ammirati. During the 2024 Paris Olympics, Anthony attempted to clear 5.7 meters. He first clipped the bar with his shins and knees, and then as he descended, the bar got stuck on his crotch and knocked it down, resulting in a 12th place finish. He should have been disqualified for using 2 poles anyway. And while I wish we could say that this was just a funny moment that we could all laugh at and move on from, it proved that we may be at the point of no return. Following the games, the 21-year-old athlete earned tens of thousands of new followers, as well as a $250,000 offer from the adult website Cams.
Really? Are you serious? I mean, you can't show nudity because, again,
an article from TMZ detailed how Cam Soda Vice President Darren Parker reportedly sent Anthony an offer letter outlining the deal. If it was up to me, I'd award you for what everyone else saw, your talent below the belt. As a lover of crotch-centric activities, I'd love to offer you up to $250,000 in exchange for a 60-minute webcam show in which you show off your goods, minus the crossbar, of course. However, Anthony never publicly spoke about the offer.
Yeah, you cannot do it.
French Olympic diver Jules Boyer was offered a lifetime supply of underwear.
Because you cannot do it. It's against the rules. That's why with the OnlyFans thing, like that's why she cannot do nudity, or the guy cannot do nudity. Like none of them could do nudity. You cannot cross that line.
From the brand Shinesty after the internet went crazy over his bulge during the games. When we saw what Olympic diver Jules Boyer was packing in his south of France, it didn't matter that we were an American company. We wanted to give it a gold medal and protect that front truck of his for many Olympics to come.
Oh my
Thankfully,
God.
Jules shut down all the horny freaks. He said, "It amused me. That said, we mustn't forget that it can take the athlete out of his bubble and that it can hurt. It was rather fun. I prefer people to look at my dives rather than my briefs, but there's nothing to worry about." And even though Jules showed resistance to temptation, countless athletes are giving in. Bronze medal basketball player Liz Cambridge retired from basketball after launching her OF. Gold medal German bobsledder Lisa Buckwitz joined the platform as well. German diver Timo Barthel, New Zealand rower Robbie Manson, and British diver Noah Williams are just a few of the many who are funding their careers through OF. However, there is one athlete that openly regrets resorting to this form of making money, but he was just bold enough to admit it. Mexican diver Diego Isaias, who was 4th in synchronized diving on the 10-meter platform at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, said that he was desperate for money after he and his colleagues were impacted by a dispute between World Aquatics and Ana Guevara, the head of Mexico's National Sports Commission. According to Diego, they stopped providing monthly payments for aquatics athletes in January of 2023. "We train 8 hours a day. It's a high-performance sport that takes up a lot of our time, and we see it as a job, as it should be. So we see the scholarship as a salary that gives us enough to live on." And although Diego created his OF to fund his journey to the Olympic Games and prepare for his competition, he also needed the income for his mother. "It occurred to me to open it because you are always looking for a way to make income. I support my house and my mother, and I have bills to pay, and you can upload whatever you want in there. I am happy that the people who are in my page have been very good and respectful. I hope they continue like this." Diego charged a monthly fee of $15 to access his content but offered quarterly packages for $40. He said, "The money I now receive is very volatile, but it has served me well so far. I'm not a person who's embarrassed about my body. I've worked on my body for 20 years, and I also want to break that taboo." Still, Diego needed to compete at the World Championships in Japan in July of 2023 to qualify for the Paris Olympics. Unfortunately, Diego failed to qualify for the games and planned to close his OF account, stating that the experience left him feeling dejected. Now, when he launched his account, he was using that same kind of fluffy language that Newman and Lara were using, talking about breaking taboos and connecting with fans and being proud of what they are posting. But without the same level of success on OF and failing to move up in the Olympics, Diego revealed what he really felt about the whole thing. He said, "I firmly believe that no athlete does this because they like it. It's always going to be because you need to." The same exact sentiments were expressed by British canoeist Kurt Adams-Rosentals, who was suspended by Paddle UK for his OF content. Paddle UK is the national governing body for canoeing, kayaking, and paddle sports in Britain. They're in charge of everything from Olympic team selection to coaching programs and training standards. For elite athletes, they're the ones who decide who gets funding, who competes, and who doesn't. So when they suspended Kurtz, that meant that his Olympic dreams were over, forcing him to choose between making content on OF and chasing the gold.
Yeah, you know, it's questionable, but it's definitely legal. And since I started on January 10th, a couple of days ago, across the six-figure mark, which for somebody who comes from no money, that is insane.
So you're earning more than £100,000 in less than 6 months.
I want to make it clear, I don't believe this is how the world should be. But yeah, it's been absolutely shocking.
Throughout this interview, Kurtz made it very clear that he doesn't like OF, he doesn't think he should have to resort to this, and he would quit if there was a better
he's being
option.
honest. He's being honest.
It's questionable, and I just want to make it clear, I didn't grow up wanting to be an OnlyFans creator. I've tried everything to supplement sport. I did freelance video editing, working to the night. You can't train.
Sounds like you're making loads of money from this, though. I mean,
I
given
did
the
Amazon
choice,
warehouse. I've done everything. I just want to make it clear.
if the choice is
Similarly, Paraguayan swimmer Luana Alonso also joined OF, but was kicked out of the Olympic Village for creating an inappropriate environment with her behavior, which many assume that this behavior was whatever she was doing to create content for her OF. She is only 21 years old, which could be her athletic prime, but has now retired, which again many assume is because her online following is much more rewarding than chasing Olympic medals.
Honestly.
It seems like the public's general opinions on this matter are split.
Honestly, like, I don't agree with OnlyFans stuff, right? I mean, I don't subscribe to it. I don't think, like, it should be money people should be spending on, right? If you have FU money, hey, you can do whatever you want with it, right? Like, obviously, like, if you want to spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff, all good, you know what I mean? But I think people should not be spending money on that, like, just when you have little extra money. And yeah, man, it just sucks that these I mean, I don't think this is I think this is why a lot of them don't get, like, fully judged. Like, wait, you're telling me you've been working your ass off for many years and you're not even getting paid for it to represent the country as the whole point of the Olympics? Like, that makes no sense. You shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't have to be doing that, I should say.
But many are supportive. From a financial perspective, the choice is obvious. The IOC's business model is fundamentally designed to make them billions of dollars and does not even consider paying the athletes a dime. It's a disgrace. With OF, athletes get consistent money, a direct customer base, and a way to stay financially independent in a system that refuses to pay them. For some athletes, this might be the only way to continue chasing their dreams without working 3 side jobs or begging for sponsors. And yeah, there's a certain satisfaction in watching these athletes beat the greedy system by monetizing their own image on their own terms. This might be a hot take, but I think that it's positive that OF is becoming more normalized. Sex workers have been demonized in society for a long time, and nudity and sex are not evil or immoral. And while it is true that these things are not inherently bad, in fact,
I think, like, OnlyFans and all that could be it's like the same thing as prawn. It could become an addiction. There's people out there that cannot handle it, and then also this opens up for people to become over obsessed with people too. like stalker-ish and stuff like that. You're opening the door for those type of people to come into your world. We've seen what that happens sometimes.
They are natural, but there is a massive underbelly of OF and X work that is dark, complicated, and overlooked. At the end of the day, OF creators are running a business, and their customers are likely goon addicts. Once they determine that what you are posting is not good enough, they might start making extreme or degrading requests for large sums of money. A refusal could lead to obsessive fans committing content leaks, doxing,
That's where the money comes from, guys. Like I said before, it's not subscriptions. It's the special request. Bro, Amarath has talked about it. There's videos out there on YouTube. They talked about it. The requests that people request are some like outrageous and crazy, but they'll pay a lot of money just to see that. From like a couple hundred to thousands of dollars, maybe to like 500,000. Like, bro, it's just crazy how much people are willing to pay for money just to see a person they're very curious about or they like nude. You know, like I would not be surprised. Again, I don't know if this is real or not, and because I haven't like looked too much into it, for obvious reasons. Like the little Tate thing. If she actually made one an OF, like I don't know if it's true or not, but like I'm pretty sure she got some crazy requests on her OF, like creepy requests.
stalking, revenge prawn addiction, stuff that can completely destroy someone's sense of safety and privacy. The patriarchy has convinced women that doing degrading acts and showing their naked bodies for the consumption of other strangers is empowering. What might feel empowering in the moment can follow someone for the rest of their life. So while we can applaud these athletes for finding creative ways to survive a broken system, we also have to admit that this solution is just another kind of exploitation, one that pretends to be freedom. And at some point, we just have to draw a line. If the system is so broken that the only way to make a livable wage is to sexualize yourself online, especially when you're in a respected position like representing your country on a global stage, that should be concerning.
Oh no,
Imagine
yeah,
if a
the
school
Olympics are
teacher started
ripping
an
people off.
OnlyFans because their salary couldn't cover their rent or health care. Most people wouldn't applaud that.
I mean, there are some out there. Again, it's not the general public. But there are some teachers who actually do that, who open an OnlyFans account to make extra money. Some of them take it way too far, right? We hear the stories, right?
As empowerment, they'd call it a societal failure. And
It's a
yet, when
failure,
it's an
yeah.
Olympian, we cheer it on because it's marketed as bold and liberating. Now, the US government wastes.
Which it's not. It's just a way to earn extra income. Because again, I agree that Olympics, what they do is a full-time job, training every single day, watching what you eat every single day, like do the whole shebang, right? That takes a lot of time. It's not just a simple like where you go to the gym and work out. No. You do special training for Olympic stuff, right? So that's the part of where I don't personally understand. Like Olympics needs to start paying all the athletes to participate. If there were no athletes, there would be no Olympics at all. Volunteers to stop volunteering at the show, at this point, and there should be a massive protest against Olympics because all they're doing is making money and spending any of it at all.
Our tax dollars on all kinds of nonsense. Personally, I'd be thrilled to know if some of the money was going to Olympians, people who actually represent our country and inspire the next generation with values like discipline, resilience, and hard work.
Yeah, he
If
made
we
a
can
lot of
fund
money 'cause
nuclear
he
war
got a bunch of
machines all around
sponsors.
the world, then I think we can afford to help an elite athlete pay their rent.
But then it's gonna go to like, oh, what about the armory? What about this, and that, right? So it's crazy to like $0 of a billion generates makes it way to the athletes. It says, or even like the workers, bro, or the workers. That's around 207 different teams that compete in Olympics. They give billions back to countries for building facilities. They also give lots of money for coaching staff and facilitating countries, and then lose money for their host cities. The entire thing should be shut down, replaced with a different structure. Yeah, I mean, it's been a very long time where the Olympics have been out, right? A very long time. Things have changed, right? In general in society. income wise, society wise, internet, all that good stuff. So I think there should be a new structure for Olympics. 100%. 100%, dude. I believe they need improvements as a general improvements of labor standards and a well distribution in general for all workers. They're getting a bit loose with the worst. I'm not gonna say that word. A lot of casinos corruption is fairly well known, but the IOC is less so. Imagine teachers starting over because their salary wasn't enough. As it's already happened. Like the world has changed, bro. The world has changed. And it needs to be like a lot of things to be updated. A lot of things should be updated. Yeah, because I never watched the Olympics anymore. We do watch like clips here and there, but honestly, I'm telling you, man, if all the athletes decide to protest, like every single one of them, and walk away, they will lose a lot of money for that event. They will have to restructure everything. They'll be forced to be like, all right, we'll give you some money. Like we'll look into everything, see how much we could give, etc. In full structure, pretty much. I mean, it's obviously not super simple as that. It won't happen like within the next day, like all the changes could happen, but they will be forced to make changes, announce them, make them, etc. But yeah, dude, I did not know it was that bad, man. Like holy hell.